Hi Facebook, it's been a while. I wanted to talk today about another lie of resistance. I'm writing the Lies of Resistance booklet, and so, I'm trying to write because, as it happens, when you want to talk about it and teach about it and explore resistance, it tends to come up, and then you don't want to create at all. And one of the things that I've been bumping up against, and finally managed to just write some words down, I was on the lie that you just need to wait until you feel creative, until you feel inspired, and then you can actually start creating. But you should totally wait until you get that, urge and that magical wash over you feeling of being infused with inspiration before you can create. And it's a total lie, because if you're creative at all, sometimes you just don't feel it. And if you've had a week of being fluey and sick and you kind of fall out of the habit, because creativity is not really a skill, it's a habit. It's something that you do. And so when you've been out of it for a while, you don't kind of feel like it, and you're not going to get that feeling, and you're not going to be graced by the muse with amazing ideas of creativity just because you're just sitting around waiting. If I've learned anything, it's that you need to show up. That's really the trick. You just got to show up at the studio, at the easel, bum in the chair, typing and writing, and trusting that even though what you're creating is kind of a bit shit because you're not feeling the creativity and you're not feeling the inspiration and you feels like you're really literally pulling teeth, it's only by that act of showing up, that only by taking that first step of faith with no guarantee that you're going to create anything of value or create anything creative or create anything that people are going to be like, wow, that's nice, as opposed to, I don't know what that is. When you take that step, only then does the muse show up and grace you with the idea, the inspiration. It's almost like oiling the machine. You have to, if there's an old water pump or something that hasn't been used in a long time, but you need to keep pumping it and putting all that energy in and all that effort, even though you're tired and thirsty, with no actual guarantee that water's going to come out, but you still have to take that first step in faith and just show up and actually just do it before the water starts running and flowing better and flowing through you. And then that's when you find the idea. That's when you feel even more inspired, and that's when you feel really, really, truly creative and in flow. Like, if I wake up in the morning, I don't usually always feel like, oh, I must paint and I'm feeling totally inspired, and I totally was not feeling inspired to make this video. But I knew that if I just press record or press play and just show up, I'm trusting that what I have to share about this lie is of value, and that whoever it is and whenever you're seeing this, that you need it, and that it is helpful and valuable to you, and that it's a source of encouragement and comfort for you as well, because it's not just a lie, but sometimes it's an excuse. Really, you're just saying, I don't feel it, therefore I will wait until it happens, and in the meantime you get distracted, and it's a distraction as well. You get distracted with other things, and you spend the day doing, things that, like, robotic things where you're just running errands and or consuming content or researching some more, or just floating through the day. And at the end of the day, no matter how busy you are, you're not feeling satisfied because you haven't created, you haven't put that bum down on that chair and showed up to your creative work. And so the only way to do that, and I've learnt this from professional artist friends and from reading interviews, and you talk to anyone who can create prolifically, and you read interviews and memoirs of artists who have amazing bodies of work, they only have that because they just showed up day after day and started making the work, and then the inspiration came only after. We always like to tell ourselves that the inspiration comes first, And sometimes it does. Sometimes you are magically struck by lightning and you have this great idea and you have to drop everything and run and get all those ideas down and create it. But like in practical sense, are you actually prepared to do that? Is your life set up in such a way that you can drop everything and run and get into the studio and create the work, write that book? Not really. It's the only way you are actually ready to accept those brilliant, beautiful, magical ideas is if you've been showing up every day and you have your tools ready and you've been oiling the machine and you know what you need to do and you have all your tools around you and your studio hasn't been collecting dust because you've been waiting for yourself to feel inspired. So yeah, I wanted this to be a quick video about that live resistance that you're waiting for inspiration. Don't wait. The best way to feel more inspired and more creative is to just show up, do what you can even if it's shitty, and put that bum in seat and really just show up for your creativity and start creating the work, even if it's just like touching your tools and making sure everything's in its place and, you know, doing sketches or whatever the equivalent of sketches is for you. And yeah, I'm putting all these thoughts and ideas and exploring them all these different lies of resistance in my Lies of Resistance book, which you can pre-order now for 50% off. The link is with this video somewhere below or whatever. And yeah, just don't wait. You know, if you're feeling that lie, it probably is an excuse to actually not do it. And the worst thing is, the more you fall for it, that you're waiting to be creative, the less that you're actually doing that is doing the creative work, which then becomes yet another bit of evidence to prove that you are not creative and therefore will never feel creative. And then it just becomes this horrible cycle that then ingrains this negative belief in you that you're actually not capable, you're not creative. So then when you do get given an idea, you end up stopping yourself and you end up sabotaging it, or you end up going, oh, maybe that's I'm not going to be good enough to create that. And so you actually ignore that idea and that creative inspiration, and because you haven't been showing up and doing the work. And so don't fall for the lie, because you're not going to be able to create, but at the same time, because it can grow to become more than just an excuse and becomes a way of thinking wrongly, really, of yourself, that you're not capable and you're not creative, you're not arty enough. And then you end up not being able to create that artwork that's been waiting for you to create, that only you could create, and it's been calling for you and to come out through you. So don't do that. Don't deny the world. Don't deny us that great work of art that you are being called to create. I hope this was helpful, and if you'll love to read more lies and all the different lies of resistance that I'll be writing in my booklet, and I'm totally feeling the same resistance that you guys probably feel. You know, I'm not a writer, I'm not good enough, but I'm trying to practice what I'm sharing here about showing up, embracing the imperfection, and I hope you will too. And I will see you in the next video.